Hi, if you are watching right at this moment, this is the replay and we are no longer live, but welcome. We're going to be making a Colette handbag by Papaya. This is the pattern right here. Just going to wait for my TikTok friends to jump on. Hey guys! Hey Sarah, hey Amber, hey Deborah. Thanks Elizabeth. Hey Sarah, hey Claire, hey Elizabeth, hey Benita. How was everybody's Thursday? Hey Jan, hey Kelly, hey Beth. Finally catch you live. Welcome. Hey Erica. Back a day. Hey Latasha. Hey Janet. Hey Fele. Hot Thursday in Georgia. I was actually texting with my sister yesterday, I think. She is in Virginia, and she said that it is sweltering. I need a butter bag. I have plenty. Good afternoon. Hot New Jersey, yeah. When you guys say hot, is it like upper 80s, 90s, upper 90s, mid 90s? I just went outside to let my dogs out, and it's probably 82. Hi, Nicole. Hey, Dan. Hot in Oklahoma. 98. Yeah, that's hot. That is hot. Hundreds. Oh, my gosh. I'm out with the girls, but Trap's going to say hi. Hey, Deanie. 72. That's nice. I think anywhere between 75 and 80 is like the perfect temperature for me. 86, 89. Yikes. 80 in Idaho, but super windy. We have a couple full days. That's nice. Get a little break. Hi, Steph. Hit 91 in Arizona, which isn't terribly hot for Arizona, right? Doesn't it get like in the hundreds? My mom lived there growing up. She said it was always so hot. Do you still have any of the bags you made when you first started making bags? No. I either sold them, gave them away, or used them until I couldn't use them anymore. So they're all gone. 106 in Phoenix. Yeeks. Hey, Janice. Okay, so I am restocking a Colette. The name of the pattern is Colette. It is made by Papaya. So it's not my pattern, but it can be purchased on their website. It's this bag right here. It has a front pocket. Totally zipped up from half of the side all the way over to the other half of the side. Shoulder straps, interior zip pocket, slip pocket. I think that's it. Over 100 in Arizona. Yikes. I have the windows open. So when I first moved to Hawaii, I used to keep the windows open all the time because the weather is literally perfect every single day. But I think that I'm just allergic to something here. So I actually have to keep the air conditioning on, which is terrible. One, because electricity out here is ridiculous. I think like the average utility bill is like $800 just for electricity, or not 800, like $500 for electricity. Hi. It's froze. Oh no. Is it froze for everybody else? No. Okay. Sometimes if it's frozen, if you just leave and come back in, it usually just works fine. I hear y'all's groceries. Groceries are crazy. Groceries are insane. Now, it's just me and my husband, and I usually go to the grocery store probably once a week just because I like to buy fresh, like, produce and stuff like that, fresh meat. And it's like $200 a week for 2 people. And we don't eat like crazy. Beautiful sound. Is it working? So I'm glad you brought that up. My last live was Tuesday here on TikTok, and so I uploaded it on my YouTube. And then once it uploaded, I went back and watched the replay just to see if like the sound was perfectly fine. So I don't know if it is on your TikTok, if it's doing it, like if you have a setting selected, or if when I'm live, it doesn't. But when I download the live from TikTok and upload it to YouTube, the sound of the sewing machine was going the entire time. Hi, Arlene. So I'm just working on the shoulder straps. I guess I should have said that. I like to make them first. That way, as soon as I'm finished sewing the bag, we can whop whop, put this right on the bag, and we don't have to wait for the shoulder straps, because that's the most fun part. It's just getting it all sewn, turning it right side out, adding the shoulder straps, and then seeing it done immediately. Okay. I'm making the Colette, which is this style bag right here by Papaya. Love the wolves. I know. I've ordered some more fabric. It hasn't come in yet, so I can restock that. A couple of them sold out. I know I think the dragon scales, that sold out really fast. The wolf sold out. There's still a couple of really cute ones, like this little owl. This is an Aries. Hi, Deborah. Honey, I love watching you. Oh, good. I love hearing that, Arlene. Thanks for watching. I just realized I didn't show you guys the shoulder straps when I was done sewing the last one. So I'll make sure to do this one. Love the modified errands video you upload and miss the stream. Oh, good. I'm so glad that helped, Laurel. No, I was actually thinking about doing another modification on it. Let me show you. So I was thinking about having the zipper panel just the way that it is, and then have another piece of material. This is going to be a bad visual, but just stay with me. The width of the zipper panel, having another piece of fabric that comes down and kind of clips right here. So you have a flap closure, and then you open it up and you have a zipper closure as well. So I think I'm probably going to play around with that this weekend. It wouldn't work on a print like that because then it would cover the whole print, but I'm sure I could work it out. But I think that would be so cute to have a zipper and like a little flap closure. Okay, so here is the stitch front and the back. My mini wallet woof. Thanks, Kim. Frida, yeah, I just started on the shoulder strap, so you haven't missed much. Amina Love. My mini wallet. Oh, exciting. What's your natural hair color? Gray. and like a dark brown. I seen you as a blonde on your webpage. Yeah, I used to be a platinum blonde. Yeah, a twist lock, Laurel. Okay, shoulder straps are done. And then now I am going to work on the front pocket of the bag. So you can't really tell because when I do mine, I do a lot of fussy, well, I have it printed. If you can tell, there's like red lines around the outside. I have this printed so that it matches up perfectly with the exterior. So I actually don't even have to do any fussy cutting. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of matches up perfectly. Like this head. So it doesn't look like there's a pocket here because it just matches up so perfectly, but there is a front pocket. So I'm going to work on that first. I do not interface the lining of my front pocket. I interface everything else. So like the side pieces, but I don't think that the front pocket needs it. Hi, Lori. Thanks, Nina. So you guys know me, I do everything as easy as possible. So I have a rotary cutter and a mat that I just cut my fabric on. So for me, it's easier to cut out just a rectangle and then trim it down to size. And then I have this printed, like I said, and so I just cut along the lines. So that's why the interior piece is just a square. It's just easier to cut a square. And then we can cut it down to size. So I'm just going to sew along the top. And then I like to use my painting shears. Anytime I'm cutting around a curve and I'm trimming down seam allowance, I use painting shears. It gets out the most fabric and allows that seam to lay down nice and flat once you flip it over to do a top stitch. Do you use SF101 on the bottom of the bag of the gusset? For the interior, yes. For the exterior, I use Peltex. So now I'm just going to flip this over, clip my bottom pieces of fabric together. Hey Tammy, welcome. And then I'm going to top stitch right along that top seam, and that allows it to lay nice and flat. It's kind of bulgy right now. Okay, so that is what the slip pocket looks like. The ends are not finished. We're going to handle that a little bit later. Now what we're going to do is line this up. And then sew it down on the front panel. So that should be right about there. Looks good. So now what I'm going to do is sew down the side, the bottom, and then the other side. I love the wolves too. I'm pretty sure I'm sold out, I think, of everything wolf right now, but I'm slowly restocking. This is available. This is a restock. Here's what it looks like. Again, it looks like it doesn't even look like it has a pocket because it lines up so good. But there's the pocket. Inside is lined. I'm going to sit this aside so that we can work on the shoulder strap connectors. So the connectors go from the bottom up above this pocket, which is why we don't have to have a finished edge on this pocket, because our shoulder strap connectors are going to cover that up. So I'm going to work on that now. Grab my hardware. Hey, Ann. Hi, Sue. Messed up my hair showing you guys earlier. Do you know how far out you are on custom orders? I think it's like down to 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So I'm just going to put a piece of double-sided tape right along the center. This is 1/2 inch double-sided tape. Got a couple extra pieces. Are you naturally brunette? No. Well, like a dark brown. Like super dark. It's time to dye this bad boy. I guess something compliments on my body that you made. Oh, good. I'm glad, Frida. And no issues like we had last time, right? All right, so I'm just trimming up this tape. I'm going to use it in a minute. Cut this down to size. Thank you, Nancy. Take off the backing to tape. Okay, and then we fold. The pattern gives you the measurements, but I have a line right here. That's where the top of it is going to fold over. So first, I'm going to fold in my sides. We do not need a finished edge on this shoulder strap connector because the edges will not be visible. So the bottom will be covered, the top will be covered. Put a piece of tape at the top. Slide my hardware on, and then I'm going to fold it over to where the edge of the connector is right along that line that I marked. And that is how I make the shoulder strap connectors for the Colette. Then I'm going to use double-sided tape. This is going to allow the connector to lay down on the front and back panel while I'm sewing it. I am making a Colette, the style bag right here, in the wolf's print. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing for the other 3 connectors. So are a lot of you guys like at home hanging out, or are you at work? What are y'all doing this time of day? Tell me, I need to know. Just started cutting out your Becca. Oh, I hope you love it. Is this your first one that you're making? Home, working from home, home, hanging out, Walmart shopping. At home, working at home, resting, donating blood. That's awesome. Working, watching true crime. All right, last one. It's 5. Working from home, selling orders at home. Is that your full-time job? Heart to heart? It's so many every day, so I'm just watching. Get off that one. Okay, good. All right, connectors are all done. I'm going to grab the front first and lay those on. So I'm going to take the backing off of the double-sided tape. I'm going to align it so that the center of this is going to hit right on the center of this pocket. And then press that tape in place. I saw at home too. Isn't that the best? I wouldn't want to do anything else but what I do. I know. Hey, Tina. Okay, so our shoulder strap connectors, they're just taped in place right now, and see how it covers up the seams of that pocket, so you don't have to finish the pocket. The only real thing that you have to finish is the top of it. I'm going to set that aside and then line with the other two on the back. So I'm going to just use the front, mark where they start. That way I know it's nice and even. I'm going to grab my ruler, lay this up along the bottom to make sure that it's nice and straight. That way when I put this down, I know that it is straight. Like when I first made this bag, I would just kind of eyeball it and put it down, and sometimes it would be off. So this is going to be the way to get a straight one every time. And then just butt it up against that ruler and press the tape in. And then do the same thing for the other side. And then we sew them down. And now they're nice and straight. Use acrylic pattern templates for cutting. I do not. I actually use a little plastic cutting board. This is kind of what it looks like. It's a plastic cutting board that I cut out all of my patterns from. They last forever. And it still has like the little ridge, so that way when you're tracing around it, it doesn't bump over the top like a piece of paper would. Love it. That's all I use. Not being able to eyeball that. I mentioned several times. We are making a Colette by Papaya. This is just a restock. So that is what it looks like, all stitched down. That's what it looks like, just taped on. I successfully made the keychain wallet. Oh, good. I use those two. I need to trace them. I cut those out of knots all the time. Same. So what I do is that when I have I used to do it a different way, and I was like, why didn't I think about this sooner? I had gotten my pattern and I laid the cutting mat on top of it, and I went to grab something and I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, I can just trace with the pattern right on top. You know what I used to do? I used to cut out the pattern and then I would lay the pattern on top and then I would trace it. And I was like, why would I do that? I can just put this clear over and trace the pattern. So that's what I do now. Can I ask why you put your paper under the foot when you sew down? Yeah, so this is just a piece of Peltex. When I get to the top, I'll show you. My sewing foot is on that metal hardware. So my foot is it's resting on top of this metal piece of hardware, this bottom part right here. So instead of scratching my leather, because when it comes off of that hardware down to just the vinyl, a lot of the times it will leave a little scratch behind. So I just tuck this underneath my foot, and that way when I'm coming down, it protects my vinyl. So there's no scratches at the top. All right, one more. All right. Now, I'm pretty sure the pattern calls for rivets at the top of these. It does give it a little bit more protection. It's not necessary though. So if you didn't want to put rivets in here, it's not going to change the functionality or structure of those straps. It'll still work just fine. So I'm just marking, I'm centering and marking where I'm going to put those rivets. Grab my punch those holes out. I have to roll my vinyl so that it fits. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other panel. I'm gonna grab my rivets and my press. These are the wrong ones. I need 4. Hi, Jennifer. So I press the stud in and then I put the back on. Super easy. And then I'll set them with my press. I got my press from Gold Star Sewing. And again, in my opinion, I think that these rivets are decorative. They're not required. I think it looks good though. I really think it looks pretty, which is why I do it on mine. But if you don't have them, if you don't have a press, don't stress yourself out. Okay, let me add my name tape. Normally, I like to put my name tape right on the front of the pocket. If I was doing that, I would do it right after I did a top stitch before I sewed everything on. But because the main face of the wolf is right there, I'm going to do mine a little bit higher. So like, I don't know if you can tell my label's right there and it's right there on the front. That's why I changed my supplier. Got my laminated one, but I got strings. I decided to go for it. Oh, good. I'm glad, Laurel. I hope you love it. Okay. I'm going to find the center between my 2 connectors and install it there. Just I got a few things to try. Hopefully, I hope they are too. I ordered some a couple weeks ago from a different supplier. They haven't come yet. Production is normally about 2 weeks. That's kind of standard for the industry. So they should be shipped out by Monday. I can't wait to see them. I wish there were more companies in the US that did them. I don't think I've ever been able to find one. And if I did, they did it on a smaller scale than what I need. All right, front of it is all done. So we have our slip pocket on the front that's fully lined. Our shoulder strap connectors. So the pattern is a little bit differently than the way that I cut it. I like a solid side for mine. So I cut off the little winged edges and then I add a seam allowance and then I sew them on at this point, which is what I'm going to do. I'm overly excited. I'm having a hard to read. Oh, do you know what finish you got? I use their brush silver and then I have it colored with black ink. So if you don't have any ink in your name, it's just going to look like the rest of it. So I always get a black ink. Except for like my... Nope, those have black ink. No, those don't. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but in the edges, it says butter bags and there's no ink in it. So it kind of looks like the rest of it. This one is my other name tag and it does have black ink, kind of sets it apart. So even if it's a different color, I would absolutely recommend some sort of ink. Thank you, Tina. Thara, I'm sorry. Tara? Tara? All right, so I like to sew on these sides. So the original pattern actually has this all cut out as one piece. Like I said, I trim that off, add a little bit of seam allowance, and then I sew mine like that. What's done to one side is done to the other side. All about my Colette style. Which one was that, Elizabeth? Oh, that's fun. Did you get it with the first round or did you just get it today with this restock? I know the first time I made this was a couple of weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago, and it sold out right away. This one, just now. Okay, good. So it'll go out first thing tomorrow morning. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. I'm a sucker for wolves. Me too. I have a new zip around wallet. So I had a mini in this and that sold out today. I have a regular size wallet. I think I have one more in this print. And then I have a zip around wallet that I'll probably be getting out tomorrow. It's all cut out and prepped. It's just ready to get sewn. This is a Juki 1181 thistle. Thistle with the 8 question marks. Okay, so I sewed my sides on and now I'm just doing a top stitch. That way it lays nice and flat. So here's what the top stitch looks like. And without it, it just won't lay flat at all. It'll just try to fold over. Don't tempt me. Thanks, Kim. What company did you order your tags from? So my original ones, I ordered them from Metal Things Art on Etsy. And if you just saw, one of them completely broke. So I went with a different supplier on Alibaba. I'm not sure. I don't remember the name though. But once they get in, if they're good quality, I'll let you know. All right. That one is sewn on, so now we top stitch. And this is going to be the last step to prepping the outside. The next few steps is going to be to put the entire bag together. Okay. So your nameplates come from Alabama. No, the website is Alibaba. It's a Chinese website. These ones didn't though. These ones came from Etsy. The new ones that I ordered that I haven't received yet, they came from a supplier on Alibaba. I think. I'm pretty sure. Did it sound like I said Alabama? All right. I'm just adding my pulls. This is a double pull. You could definitely make this bag with just one. But because it opens so wide, I like to have the option to open it from either side. Just open up the top. I'll show you what I mean. Let me grab a bag. This one. So this is the bag that we're making. So we already sewed the pocket on. We sewed, this becomes, this right here, these little side pieces become the top of the side right here and here. So when you open the bag, because it opens halfway down each side, if you only had one zipper pull, you would open it from one side all the way up. When you have two zipper pull, you can just open the top and you can get in that way, or you can open all the way down and it opens nice and wide. So can you use one zipper pull? Yes. I recommend two, like the pattern calls for, just so you can open it up really wide. And then, like I said, you have the option to just open it up, quickly grab something out of your pocket. Thanks, Tara. I have a YouTube channel, so if you want to watch any of my old lives or any of my other videos, they're there. Okay, let's go. So we have our two zippers on our pull. I will grab my front panel, line my zipper up along the top, and sew that down. Thanks, Dina. I love having you guys here. It's so boring when I don't go live. Except for yesterday. My husband was home from work, so it wasn't very boring. Hi, Allison. All right, zipper is stitched on. Now I'm going to grab one of the interior lining pieces. So I make my interior pockets on my other sewing machine just because the material is way too thin for this one. So on one of the interior panels, we have a regular slip pocket, and then we have a smaller slip pocket for like pins and stuff. So that is one side, and then the other side has the zipper like you saw in the sunflower bag I just pulled down. So I'm going to line up this one side along the zipper. The machines sound different. I know sometimes TikTok mutes the sound because they think it's they're noise canceling, not knowing that we actually want the sound. All right, and then we sew that on the zipper. And I was actually saying earlier, if you watch the replay, when I upload it to TikTok, it actually has the whole sound of the sewing machine. So it's not muted that way. So I don't know how to change that setting here on TikTok. I'm like, what are you making? The Colette by Kaya Papaya and the Wolf's Print. This will be on YouTube, yeah. May have seen that already, but I think you like the Modify Romina. I saw that bag. I haven't really done a deep dive into the pattern, but I did see that it was released a couple weeks ago. It's a beautiful bag. Yeah. All right, so I'm just clipping my seams, the edges of my material together. And that allows me to get a nice top stitch, a nice and even top stitch. It takes a couple extra seconds to do this, but in my opinion, it's well worth it. It means everything lays flat. So normally when I do a top stitch, I just clip the bottom together, but because this would be suspended, I want to clip the bottom of this together as well. Press the order for patterns. Can't wait. Can almost shoe sew these patterns. Jennifer, it depends on which one. This bag, I would say yes, a normal sewing machine. If you're talking about my patterns, yes, a regular sewing machine will work with all of my patterns except for the Becca, which is this bag right here. I definitely recommend a industrial or a semi-industrial. All right, top stitch is done. You're welcome. Do you think a Barina would work? I'm not sure. I've never worked with one of those sewing machines. For your archive videos, I'm about to do it. Oh, good. I'm glad, Jan. I hope it helps. All right, so here's the top stitch that I just did all the way across. And then now we do the exact same thing to the back. So we're going to grab the exterior panel, sew the zipper on first. We talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, but for those who weren't with me, a lot of people who sew, when they get to this part of sewing a zipper on, because you have to sew it to the exterior and you have to sew it onto the interior, a lot of people clip them together and sew it down in one swoop. So instead of sewing it onto the exterior and then coming back and sewing it onto the interior, they just line it up like this and sew right down. You can do that. You can absolutely do that. Now, what I will say is that if you find that your bags are coming out to where the allowance on your zipper tape is messed up, so for example, you should be able to see this okay. The amount of exposed zipper tape, which is the kind of fabric piece that is not included in the teeth. If it's coming out to where it's a little bit too big on this side and too small on that side, or if it's bigger here and then it gets kind of narrow here, if it's not the same all the way down, it's probably this step of your sewing. So what I make sure to do every time I sew anything that has a zipper that you can see on the outside of a bag is that I do it one panel at a time. So just like I did the exterior, sew that down, clip the interior, sew that down, instead of doing this little sandwich technique with both of them sewing down in one step. It will always give you the perfect amount of zipper tape that's exposed on both sides, and it would be consistent all the way down your zipper. I can't remember. I know we talked about it Tuesday, but I'm not sure if that was on my YouTube live or if it was live here. So I just wanted to make mention. And the reason is because you're able to control your seam allowance. That's why your bags always look great. Thanks. What needle and thread do you use? I use a size 18 needle, and I use, my thread is Gutermann, and it is Mara 70. For my exterior, it's Mara 100 I use for my interior. Same brand. All right. So now I'm just sewing my zipper to the exterior. All right. And then now I'm going to grab the interior and sew that onto my zipper. And this is the side that has the zipper pocket. I like to have my zipper shut when I'm sewing it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that first stitch that we sewed on the zipper to the exterior, and I'm going to go down about like 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch below that. Now we're going to open up and do a top stitch. So again, I'm going to clip down the bottom pieces of the material together for both the bottom and then the bottom of the sides. Keeps it all lined up nicely. Now you hear it? Good. Did you change anything in your settings, or did it just come back? Just came back. Okay, good. I lost the clip. Alright, top stitch is done, and you can kind of see that zipper tape that's exposed right here is going to be the same on both sides all the way down. Alright, now we're going to add the bottom of the exterior. Just Mammy! Because your air cons turned on, it's doing that. I know that you can. So my air conditioner's been on the whole time, if that's what you're talking about. Thanks, Tina. Okay, bottom. So I'm going to get all of my layers out of the way except for the back. Get my bottom. So the bottom of the exterior, somebody was asking about earlier, I lined that with Peltex, and then I lined that 1/2 inch short on each side. And then the bottom of my interior I line with Profuse, which is just like SF101. It's a woven interface. So we're going to lay the bottom up, clip that in place. Can I use a regular sewing machine to make this bag? I would say yes. The thickest part is probably going to be the shoulder straps on the pocket. But if you get the right needle, if you get the right sewing foot, if you get the right thread, you should be able to use a domestic. Alright, bottom is sewn on. We're going to open that up and do a top stitch. Thanks, Linda. Thanks for watching. So here is the top stitch, and then we're going to do the exact same thing over here. So take all of my other layers out of the way, align the bottoms together, and then sew them down. And then we're going to open it up and do a top stitch. Before I do that, I'm going to stitch my zipper closed. I have to open up my zipper to get to the bottom of this now, and I don't. Yesterday I actually made one of these bags and the zipper came flying off. So I'm just going to sew that down so that doesn't happen. I'll go to putting the bags together. Thanks, Teresa. Alright, so now I'm going to open up my zipper so I can get to the bottom. Let me sew this side down too, just for GP. I'm gonna wind up trimming this off anyways. Okay, so now I have to go down on the inside to get to the bottom to top stitch. So I want to make sure that my side pieces are out of the way. Line that up with the bottom. Make sure this part is out of the way, and then sew that down. Flip my threads. Have you put your badge on yet? My name tag, yeah. Random, but what stitch length do you like to use for the construction? So when I'm sewing it together, I use like a 3, and then for top stitching, I use like a 5. Thanks, Wolford. The 1181 has the walking foot. Yes. Do you use a special foot within that, like a zipper foot? No. I'm going to send you a picture of my Alyssa. Oh, good. Good, good, good. Alright, so now I am going to add the bottom for the interior. So we just did the bottom for the exterior. The only difference is that you don't need to top stitch this. I'm also making my seam allowance about an 1/8 inch bigger on the interior. And what that does is it makes the interior a little bit smaller than the exterior so that it fits in there nice and snugly. Snug, nice and snug. What's the best fabric to use when? So I use vinyl and cotton. When you say best, it's really a preference. Some people that sew like an all cotton bag, some people like cotton vinyl, some like leather. It's really a preference, whatever you like. But if you're interested in getting into bag making, I would absolutely recommend trying them all and then seeing what you like best. Alright, so the bottom is stitched on. We didn't have to open it up and go through the zipper because we're not top stitching it. The next step is going to be a little funky. You have to just trust the process and just walk through it with me. Let me pull this bag back out. So what we've done is constructed the entire bag. That's the bottom that we just did. These side top panels we already talked about. That's this right here. This right here is going to be this top right here. So the next step is to add the bottom, which is this part right here. It's done kind of funky. I love the way that the pattern is written because if we just did this the normal sewing way of doing it, we would have to bind the edges, but we don't have to. Let me trim my excess zipper. Hit that with a lighter. I already sewed the other side. I'm just going to hit that with the lighter. So what we're going to do is we are going to take one exterior and one interior pieces for the bottom of that side, and we're going to sew them on independently. So what I mean is that we have the inside over here, the outside over here. We're going to sew the outside to the outside, and we're going to sew the inside to the inside, but we're going to sew them apart like that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just clip these in place and then sew them down. If you've seen me make this bag before, or if you've made this bag before, you kind of understand what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, it comes out it's so awesome the way that it's written. All right. So the problem is that we have the zipper right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to stitch up to the zipper, and then we're going to stitch up to the zipper over here. So we're not going to stitch this down in the center. I wish I was in your room by you. Can you show me how it looks when you open the sunflower bag? Sure. There's a zipper pocket on one side and then a dual slip pocket on the other side. Alright, so I'm going to sew this side down right up to until I get to the zipper and stop. I'm going to get that out of the way and then sew the interiors together right until I get up to that zipper. Then I'm going to stop. Going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Trust the process. Now I'm going to trim all my threads. I normally trim as I go, but because these are layered right on top of each other, I just find that it's easier just to do it in one swoop. And then there's little pieces that need to go. I need to set this up. Okay. So our side pieces are stitched on the front and the back. However, they're not stitched on that zipper part. So if you see there's a little hole right where that zipper is, because remember we stopped short of sewing that because the zipper is attached to the interior and the exterior. So now what we're going to do is stitch them both together over this little spot right here. So remember, we sewed them independently. They're not stitched together. And then now we're going to stitch them together right over that zipper. And then now what we're going to do is top stitch. So what I like to do is take the interior, fold these sides in, and then just clip them together. That way they're out of my way when I'm doing my top stitching, because what I'm going to top stitch is this outside piece right along the edge right here. And that is how the side of this bag is made. So you can see now, that is what we just did here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. The clips are the best, I swear, on this leg. Wow. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if it auto-corrected you. So exterior to exterior, interior to interior. This is the Colette, yeah. Put on the puzzle piece game. Cute bags. How do I order my website? The link is also in my TikTok bio. You can just go right over to my bio, and underneath the follow button is a link to my website you can just click on. I don't know why I get notifications when you're live. Oh no, Roxy! You missed almost a whole bag. We're finishing it up now. But don't worry, I'm going to post this on my YouTube when I'm done. So you can watch the replay of it. Oh, might be a bobbin thread. Yeah. Let me get this bobbin really quick, you guys. How big of print piece and goes with pattern tape? Cam, I can't get out the measurements because they're not mine. All right, that's good enough. Hi, Best Lady. All right, let me thread this up really quick. Bad eyes. I'm doing everything I can to not have to wear glasses. There we go. All right. I was sewing my interior pieces together. What do you do when you don't have motivation to sew? You know what's honest? Honestly, I've never gone through that. I really enjoy what I do. I even sew on the weekends, like when I don't have to. Like last weekend, I made some new covers for some pillows, some throw pillows in my living room. I'm always motivated because I love doing this. I hope that doesn't sound corny. I mean, even if it does, it's the truth. I really enjoy it. Okay. Now we're going to clip the sides together to sew over that zipper. Oh man, just me that. No, it's not just you. People do it all the time. Wait for this part about you can't finish. Really? Just finish it. What's stopping you, I guess, from finishing it? You also make money from it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but even like I said on the weekends when my couch cushions, nobody pays me for those. I still just really enjoy it. I need to start invoicing my husband because he wanted some new pillows. I was like, don't worry about it. I'll just order some flannel from Joanne, order some pillows. from Amazon, and I'll just do them. So what I should do next time is go to Amazon, find like the expensive throw pillows, and be like, oh, I can get them, but they're gonna be like $100 a piece, unless you want to just give me some money and I can make them. All right, this side is done as well. So now the last step is just to attach our side pieces to the front and back. So it's looking kind of like this. And then now we're going to attach the side pieces. I do my interior pieces first. Hi. I want to work with you. I mean, I don't do classes. This is kind of the extent of what I do. All right. So the inside, I use pins to hold it together. So what I'm going to do is clip my exterior out of the way. So I just clip this down. That way it just kind of stays out of my way. And then I'm going to pin the interior side down. You want to open up your zipper for the main zipper, and then you want to open up your zipper pocket if you have one of those, because I'm going to be turning this right side out through that zipper pocket. I'm in the US. All right, so going to line up the bottom of my side to the bottom of the interior, and then just start pinning that down. You can use clips. I like pins better. You can sew right over your pins. You cannot sew over your clips, so you're going to have to take your clips off to sew. And sometimes your fabric can shift when you take off your clips, and you don't have to worry about that with pins. So I start on the bottom, and then I come up here to the side, and then I start pinning that down, and then just kind of meet in the middle. Would you want to teach in-person classes when you get back to the mainland? Yeah, but only for certain things. So like, I know a lot of homeschool, they do like, I guess in high school you call them electives, where you go and learn new techniques. I would love to do like a homeschooling sewing class. Something to actually teach people the skill, not to really make money off of it, but to invest in like younger people's lives. I know my sister has her kids in homeschool, and they have like a group homeschooling, and they do that. They go to different places and learn different things like farming, etc. This is the Colette by Papaya. Home ec, me too. Thanks, Jen. Now, I will do this by prefacing you should not sew over pins, period. I think that's like the rule. You should absolutely not do it on an industrial machine. They break, they bend. I do it because I have more pins. It's really cool. What about teaching other bag makers at a retreat? I don't know if I would like that. I don't know if I would like that. I think that I would feel too much pressure. They need to bring home back in school. Home ec. Yeah, I remember making brownies in my home ec class. I think I made like a drawstring bag. I enjoyed it. All right, now we sew. Hey, Patricia. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Tara. It has kind of a funky arc to it, when you're sewing around it. So just take your time. And again, that's why I use pins, because of just the really weird angle that you have to sew it at. That's my back. We made a poodle shirt once. Oh, that would be cool. I think guys and girls should say comment. I agree. Yeah, shop. I took shop in high school too, which I absolutely loved. But I lived in the country, and so we really only had a couple of elective classes. All right, so our interior, it's kind of hard to see because we still have our exterior right here. But our side for the interior is all sewn up. Now we're going to do the same thing over here for this side. But I actually do, not as much as I want to, but I really enjoy woodworking. I've made some tables, some shelves, some cutting boards, some picture frames, some trays. I really enjoy woodworking. When we moved here to Hawaii and I found out that it was going to take like 9 weeks for our stuff to get here, like our household stuff, I just went to Lowe's and bought like a circular saw, a sanding machine, some drills, some screws, some wood, some measuring tools, and I just started making like woodworking. We didn't have any of our pots and pans, so we bought a Blackstone, and so I made a table for the outside to put like the pans of food before and after you cook it, like a shelf at the top for like our seasonings. That was really fun. So if I had more time, I would definitely do more woodworking because I really enjoy it. This is so cool. I'm so impressed. Thanks. Can we see some of your made furniture? Yeah. So if you're in my Facebook group, I know I've posted some pictures there. If you just go to my group and search table, it should come up. Actually, let me see if I can show you on here. You got to do what you love and love what you do. Exactly. Let me see. Oh, so here we go. This little table I made for, it's like behind, it's in our living room. But I sanded it and sealed it, stained it. And then, so that was one of my projects while I was waiting for our stuff to get here. This little tray cutting board I made. I think that's all that I have on this phone. Yeah. And I mentioned before, but what size needle? Size 18. No, I didn't make these. I bought these from Amazon. I didn't have time. I got those shelves after I started sewing. And sewing is my number one. One, because it's how I make money. But two, because I really enjoy it. Building stuff, it takes a lot of time. I have to go downstairs in my hot garage and I have to work out there. I have to open up the garage. It gets really dirty with all of the sawdust after you cut and sand wood. So that's kind of like I have to be feeling it work. Thanks. Okay, we're pinned up. Let me sew that down. I did make this sign though, if that's what you're asking, but I didn't make those shelves. Yeah, Amber, I was just thinking about that. Okay. That is some. Sometimes I think like with a lot of things, sometimes it's cheaper to buy items online. So like nowadays clothes are a lot cheaper than they were like way back in the day. Way back in the day we were so poor. My mom had so many kids. She made all of our clothes. But I think if she was raising us now, she would probably just buy it just because it's so much more inexpensive. The quality is definitely not as good. But like for these shelves, it was cheaper and quicker just to buy them than make them. Now, they won't last nearly as long as they would if I would make them. But once we get into like our forever home, I'll definitely start doing a lot more woodworking. All right, so now I am attaching the outside side to the main exterior. So I clip those in place. You cannot use sewing pins. However, after I get it clipped in place, I'm going to add some staples just around the bottom curve. And that way, while I'm sewing, it'll keep it in place. So again, I kind of start on the bottom and then clip together the top of the bottom and kind of meet in the middle. I have to sit this down here so I can see it. Okay. So our side is clipped together, and then now I'm going to just add a couple staples around the bottom. And just like we discussed before, when we sew this with the clips on, we're going to have to take the clips off. And your fabric can shift, which would mean that your seam allowance wouldn't line up. Adding just a couple of, or however many you want, staples keeps that from happening. Because I'm not going to be sewing over the staples, but it'll still keep the material together. Okay. So as you can see, my staples are right along the edge of them. I am not going to be sewing into them. You send your bags outside the US. No, not to Spain. I shipped to the UK, Australia, and Canada. I love enjoy. Thanks for watching, Shanda. Sandra. Sorry. All right. I'm going to remove those staples, and then I'm going to trim down my seam allowance. And that just gets any extra material out of my seam allowance, so it's not really bulky when we turn it right side out. sure we got all the staples out. Oh, I got one right here. So remember I said, for me, anytime I trim a curve, I always use my pinking shears. Sometimes with the straight ways too. All right, that is what we're looking like. And then now I'm going to do the exact same thing over here with this side. Sew that side down. Bye, Sandra. Is making bags relaxing? I think so. A lot of people that I've spoken with, I mean, people that have been doing it for a really long time, I would say, yeah, if you're just getting into it, it's kind of stressful, right? Because you're learning a whole new craft. So it was kind of stressful when I first got into it, just because I had no idea what I was doing. But after you start doing it for a while, in my opinion, it's very relaxing. I enjoy watching your videos. Thanks for watching. I'm learning. It's stressful right now. Yeah, that's normal. It's totally normal. Don't give up. Just keep going. It happened to me too when I first started. I'm new to TikTok. Oh yeah, Mary? Did you come from my Facebook group or did you just find me by scrolling? Couple more. All right, let's sew it. It was stressful for me too until I started getting patterns here and watching every detail video. Yeah, just the more you do it, the easier it is, I promise. So happy to see you. Oh, good. Well, welcome. Do you have hummingbird material for a crossbody? I don't think so. Do I make leather bags? Not yet. Hey, Debbie Lee. All right. This is one of the last steps on this bag, and then we're almost done. So much easier to go around when you have them stapled. This is the Colette by Papaya. Great pattern. All right, let me get my staples out. Let me turn on my iron. We're going to turn this right side out. Done with my stapler. Elizabeth. All right, all my staples are out. Let me trim down my seam allowance. I am observant. Sure, here comes my smile. I'll show you guys something as soon as I'm done with this bag. Just remind me if I forget. Has anybody ever made anything out of real leather before? It's a totally different sewing process. Most of the time you have a raw edge, you're working with raw edges. And it's not just like sewing two pieces of leather together. It's way more entailed than that. Hey, Tina. You're terrible at keeping a secret. I know. I know. All right, let's finish this up and then we'll talk about it. So we've got our sides sewn on, and then now I'm going to use that zipper pocket. I left that bottom open and turn it right side up. I've been watching leather making videos for at least the last month. I've ordered a lot of supplies. Most of it has come in yet. I have a couple more things that I'm waiting on. I think they're being delivered today. Where's the Kit Cup? Oh no, can you buy one of it? Yeah, just send me an email. Send me an email and I can get that out for you. info@butterbags.com. Yes, I've sewn leather. On leather. Yeah. It's a lot different. A piece of the red that's coming out. Honestly, the combination's great. I think that's awesome. You're welcome. Okay, a piece of thread. Alrighty. She is done. We just gotta sew the zipper pocket shut and then add the shoulder straps. Do I make computer bags? I mean, I have some bags that will hold like laptops, but I don't make any laptop specific bags. No. All right, zipper pocket is sewn shut. Let me tuck that back in. All right, so I want to get those creases out of that bottom. See those wrinkles? You cannot iron vinyl. It will melt it. So what I like to do is just get my iron, hit it with a little steam. Then I'm going to come in on these sides of the interior and do the same thing. Gotta be careful with this side because the top of that is vinyl, so I don't want to touch that with my iron. So I'm just going to iron below it. And that's usually plenty to get out any wrinkles. See how those wrinkles are gone? And then now we are going to attach the shoulder straps that we made in the beginning. Grab my rivets and press. All right, I'm going to clip them on and then I am going to rivet them on. Thank you, Debbie. Did you modify the original pattern? Yeah, for the sides. The sides I did. Are you making any other bags after this? I am, but it won't be live. So I'm not like done for work for the day, but yeah, the live's going to end as soon as this is over and I show you guys what I've been working on. Thank you. If you're in the market for a bag and you want to purchase this one, this is a restock. So this is available on my website, or at least it was when I came on live. I think one person said they bought one. I have two. So now we're going to rivet our handles. Why what? Oh, why no more sewing? I have some stuff that I have to prep. So I'm going to punch a hole through both of those layers. Add a rivet, add a back, and then just keep doing that. I went to the PDF, but I wasn't sure I was looking at the right one. The PDF for what? Sarah? I don't sell this pattern. This pattern is made by Papaya, so you can purchase this, just not for me. Okay, thanks, Elizabeth. Now I want to try to make one of your smaller ones. Do it. The little wristlet is a really good project. The Alyssa crossbody, I think, is a really good newbie beginner project too. Both of those patterns are on my website under the DIY in the menu. They look different on her website. I think the only thing that I did differently is the side, but everything else is the pattern. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 98% sure. Oh, where's the pattern? You're gonna start it? Don't. Did you watch the video tutorial? Watch it a couple times. Whenever I am thinking about buying a pattern, I normally look for a video tutorial, and I'll watch it a couple of times just to kind of, I don't want to say get the strength to do it, but just kind of give me the confidence to do it. I usually watch it more than once. All right, rivets are on. Done with that. Done with this. Done with these clips. We're going to press our rivets down. I do have a YouTube channel. Yep, it's Butterbags. It's also in my TikTok profile. So if you click on the BB up here, go to my profile, right underneath the follow button, there's an Instagram icon. And there you can find my Instagram and my YouTube channel. A lot of my old lives are saved in my YouTube channel. 64 months since I was 13. Nice. The confidence. Yeah. Okay, all done. So here is the Colette bag, all done. So we have a slip pocket in the front, side, back, bottom, other side, and then this has a dual zipper. So if you just wanted to open up the top and get in there and grab something out of like a little pocket, you can do that. Or you can open it up. For the longest time, I used to use this as my carry-on bag whenever I flew somewhere. I can fit a jacket, a book, my wallet, a bottle of water, and a couple of other things. It fits. It might not look like it, or it might, I don't know. It fits a ton of stuff in here. So you have a dual slip pocket, you have a large side, and then you have a smaller side for pins. And then you have a zipper pocket on the other side. And it opens up nice and wide. Or it opens up just a little bit. Is there any patterns you struggle with? Yeah. I can't think of them though. I'm not going to sit here and say that I can breeze through all patterns. There's definitely some that I struggle with. I guess Sean, I have to watch it again. Okay, Rena. That's why I got it one of the but so that's good. Good. Thanks, Nina. All right. Are you guys ready? Let me show you what I've been working on. So I haven't really done anything yet. This weekend, I'm going to be making a wallet for my husband and some leather that I've purchased. Let me go grab it. Hi, Holly's Market. Thanks, Gibby. I've made a ton of these. Let me just show you what leather making entails. I'm not done. Okay, so a lot of the material for leather making I didn't have because I never used it. I never worked with leather before. There's a couple of different types of finishing on leather. So let's start with this. This is like a 5-6 ounce leather. This has what's called a veg tan. It's vegetable tanned. This one right here is a different type of leather and it's chrome tanned. So finishing your project using both tanned ways is totally different. So I'm going to be working with that this weekend. Anytime I work with something new, like a new medium, I always like to do a lot of practicing. That way, if I mess up, I can mess up on something that I'm not selling to anybody. This is natural rubber, and what I've been told and seen on videos, the edges of these, remember how I said that a lot of these are sewed, the edges are raw. There's not really a lot of leather projects that have finished edges. You have to finish the edges yourself. You can do that by burnishing, using edge paint. There's a couple other ways to do it. If you paint on here, I saw a video somewhere that natural rubber will get off any paint that you accidentally put on your project. So that's what this is. This is neat's foot oil. This actually brings some pliability and protects the leather, the natural leather. So you normally apply that to your project before you stain or paint it. It just brings moisture back into your leather and allows it to stay pliable and good for a really long time. This is glue for gluing two pieces of leather together. So for example, like the wallet that I'm going to be making this weekend, I have to line up card slots and you have to glue them. You don't have to, but most people glue them to the leather before you sew it. This is a roller. So when you glue the two pieces of leather together, you kind of give it a press. That way you don't have any air pockets in between those two pieces of leather. This is just a mallet. So there is a saddle stitching technique that you do by hand that you don't use your sewing machine for. So you have to use what's called pricking irons to make the holes that you then stitch from. So this mallet hits those pricking irons. These are the pricking irons right here. These are called skivers. So on the edge of your material, if you don't finish it and do some prep work, your edges can kind of roll over. The skiving the edges prevents that from happening. This is a I want to call it a boner, but it's not a boner. It's a bone press. Anyways, toconol, which is furnishing oil, wax thread, which is supposed to be the best for leather. These are edge finishers. I'm not going to go into as detail as I was because I feel like I'm rambling. This is used to trim your leather or skive it. What else? I have some more cutting tools. Leather is a lot different than vinyl. Bone folder, thank you. Saddle soap. This also polishes your leather. This is an awl. There's a couple of different uses for that. Here's some more waxed thread for hand stitching. This is a finish that I want to try on his wallet. It's an antique finish. Needles to sew, hand sew. What is this? Foam brushes. This is for edge painting. So I have, like I said, I have 2 more things that's going to be delivered today, and that's going to complete all of the things that I need to start getting into sewing with leather. So somebody asked me, do I make any leather items? The answer is not yet. It's going to be at least a month for me to just keep practicing and perfecting my craft, but eventually I will. The wallet will be hand sewn, yeah. A $700 wallet, yeah. Well, he's getting it, but it's not going to be, he's not getting a perfect wallet, I'm sure. And I'll take photos over the weekend. If you're in my Facebook group, I'll post some photos after I make it so you guys can see it. And if I haven't given it to him by the next time I'm on live, I'll show you guys live what it looks like. But this is my little box of goodies of all the stuff that I need to start working with this leather. I'm so excited. I think I'm going to start, tomorrow's Friday, probably tomorrow. Yeah, I'll post pictures for sure. I sew leather. I sew leather all day. It's a different animal, 100% what I hear. I'm really looking forward to using this just because I really like the color of it. This is tanned with chrome. So like I said, the finishing is going to be a little bit different. And I think it might be a little bit too thick, but I don't know. I might have both of them. Thanks. You don't interface leather. From what I understand, you don't interface leather. It'll have a raw lining on the inside. I was supposed to start working with leather. There's a lot of really great YouTube videos that like I said, when I stop working for the day, I go downstairs and cook dinner, and then I'm usually watching leather videos until I pass out. Wax thread is only good for hand sewing. Don't wait. Yeah. That's what I'm using it for, is hand stitching. My mom used to sew with rawhide. Awesome. I wish I would have gotten into it sooner. My life has just been so crazy for these last couple of years. And it's always been on my mind to add it or start using it. So I definitely am jumping in and doing it. My husband has made belts, but I don't think I have the patience. I've seen some belt videos. They're really interesting because there's a lot of grooving and a lot of different things that you can do to the leather to make a pattern by hand. I mean, I'm amazed by some of the stuff that I've seen. If I could only be half as good as some of those people. But I'm hoping that I can bring a different perspective, because a lot of the YouTube videos that I watch, they just have been doing leather making their entire life. They've never sewn anything else. So I'm thinking that just because it's a different beast, the way that you sew faux leather, the way that you sew cotton is totally different than leather. And hopefully I can bring just something different to the craft. Thank you. Can you imagine your bags? Yes, I can. It's in high school, but nothing since. I'm really excited about it. All right, it's 12 o'clock. It's lunchtime here. I'm going to jump off, but I will see you guys again on Tuesday. And if you're in my Facebook group, I'll post some pictures of whatever I make this weekend and let you guys know. You can sew vinyl and you can sew leather. Yeah, it is expensive. Girl, yes, it is expensive. And this hide, I think this right here was 30 bucks. It's 12 by 24. It was $30, $35, something like that, just for this little bit. See you on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, you guys. Bye.